Hello. Hi, everybody. Y'all are doing well. Y'all are having a good time. We're going to be having a discussion, a complete and total discussion about Resident Evil. Yeah, going to be incredible. We're going to be having a nice little discussion talking about, the games, what we liked, what we didn't like, all that good stuff. So, I recommend you stick around. I'm super excited, guys. I'm not going to lie. The little podcast vibes. Hold on, let me set the mood, guys. Let me set the mood, guys. Let me set the mood, guys, okay? Because this isn't just a regular live stream. It's a collaboration. Hey, Yvette, what's going on? This is a collaboration stream. Me and a group of other Resident Evil creators, we figured we'll team up for this one and get a nice discussion going on. You know what I'm saying? So everybody, sit back, relax, chill out. Gotta tag everybody too. Yes, sir. No, Yvette. Gonna be a nice one. We're just doing our intros right now. Here we go. Yo, Sniper, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Hope y'all all doing well. I hope all of you guys are doing well. Waiting for the other guys to join in. They're all doing their intro. Yo. We are going to be discussing RE4. Trying to figure out what we liked, what we didn't like in the game. And so many other things. Are you guys excited? What do you guys think of the RE4 gameplay yesterday? RE4 looks crazy. I do not like Lewis's design at all. Double promotion. Believe it or not. Oh yeah, I get that 100%. It was, but yes. I'm glad. I am so glad that Yvette agrees. It was amazing. It was hands down one of the best things. Like, it was a crazy ass gameplay reveal. I love the fact that they're doing their own thing, no holds bar. Luis looked like he eat dinner with Ohio people. Exactly. Luis looks like he sells, like gas station alcohol to underage teenagers. That's what he looks like. He looks sleazy as fuck. Luis does not look cool. I just can't get back to him. I can't. But we are going to. I love Luis. He's hot. Like, Luis. I can't get down with the new Luis. The old Luis is just suave and mysterious. This one just he looks like about to do so. Like, he looks like he's about to betray us. Like, I can't. Scary guy. I'm not gonna lie to you. Ashley looks scary. Nah, Ashley looks cool. Still. All right, hold on.
Exactly, yeah.
Yo.
Yo, what's
Yo,
up, man?
what's up, man?
Yo, what's up? What's up? What's up?
Let's get it going, man. Let's go.
Alrighty, so you guys just want to get this started?
For
Yeah.
sure, man. For sure. Ready to go.
Alrighty, guys. So first topic is, what are your guys' thoughts about, the RE showcase as a whole, and what would you guys rate it out of 10?
So I guess I will go first for this. So my thoughts on the showcase as a whole, it was an absolute banger. We essentially got new info and gameplay on everything that is coming up for the franchise all the way to March. So we're pretty much feasting on, it was Canadian Thanksgiving not too long ago. I feel like I just got dessert. So
For sure,
I'm
man.
extremely thankful for that.
Yeah.
And I can
Yeah.
easily say my excitement is through the roof right now, and I'm still blown away from what we got, and it feels like an addiction to be watching all of these gameplay trailers and reveals. And in totality, it makes me happy that I'm a content creator for the series, and for all of us, it's just going to motivate us to put out great content. So it's not just a win for the content creators, but for the RE community as well, for how much content we just got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
for sure.
Exactly. Yeah.
100%. I guess I'm going next. A 10 out of 10 for
Alrighty.
me, man. I like overhyping stuff, but this was hands down. I got everything, like all of the questions you can even ask Center. I had so many questions regarding the RE4 remake. How are they gonna do it? How are they gonna do, the button prompts? How are they gonna do Leon's fighting moves? Are they gonna take away some of his fighting moves? Is the campiness still gonna be there? Are we looking at a more grounded, more serious remake? Is it scary? And this one gameplay plus the trailer answered everything for me. They somehow up the scares, but also up the campiness. Seeing Leon shoot a fire thing or whatever, and setting a cow on fire, and having a cow lose its mind and ram in the villages, and him saying, "Oh, bill me for the damages later." I was like,
Bro.
wow, this is everything I ever wanted with this remake. And this motherfucker had a knife chainsaw back. Oh man, I was blown away.
Man.
They
I was
literally
blown
got
away.
the cheesiness at its peak, all in that gameplay trailer. I'm so
All in that
excited for
gameplay, the cheesiness, the horrors, the scares, the act. Oh my god, it was beautiful. 10 out of 10.
Nah, though, man.
For
The
sure, man.
dog, though. Like, what they do with
Oh
the
my
dog.
gosh, you're really gonna.
Oh my
man.
god.
That
Oh,
better
Cares
not
about
be
the
vote-
dog
that
though.
better
Like,
not-
the dog is
That better-
dead.
That better be like something else. I don't know.
nah, man, he's
No.
dead. He's dead.
That's crazy. That's so. Oh man. No, but yeah. I mean, I totally agree with you guys. 10 out of 10. I mean, I really did not expect to get all this. I thought we were gonna get a little trailer. I thought we were gonna see like Leon just at like the beginning, first Ganado encounter, but they literally showed the entire village sequence. Like
Mm,
Dr. Salvador, they literally showed pretty much everyone in the trailer besides what was it, like Krauser.
Yeah.
yeah.
So I mean, yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I saw what I needed to see, and I really think they're gonna blow this remake out of the water. I was concerned at first that it wasn't gonna live up to the original, but now that I've seen this, I think it'll do just fine, man.
Yeah.
For sure, man. Like, that's what it is for me too. Just straight 10 out of 10. Like, the
Yeah.
action was there, the freaking fears, the chills, man. Like, I remember thinking in the beginning, the only way that the Ganado encounter could be as I guess fearsome, fearful as it was in the original was if it was, like during the early morning hours when it's still kind of dark, and it just gives like that kind of eerie vibe.
Yeah.
But dude, like, it was in freaking broad daylight, like, and it was still freaking terrifying.
Exactly.
It was just
man.
amazing. Like, the action sequences, I was so happy just to see that the button prompts were back, but they were just updated and modern. The mechanics honestly look just awesome. I mean, we got
Yeah,
Dr.
bro.
Salvador freaking like tearing down buildings everywhere.
That's
He's
gonna be
insane,
crazy.
man.
Yeah, I love one thing. I want to piggyback off that. I love how in this remake the villagers are more like ferocious. They're more like feral. Like they're like the villagers in the older version. They were scary because they like were so normal looking and they were just shuffling, walking towards you. Like there was this uneasiness to them. But in the remake, these guys are terrifying because they're so ferocious and they look like they don't care about their own life, so they're just attacking you with everything they got. And that's why I love I love how they're so different, and yet I like both of the enemies.
Yeah, and that's kind of, I know back in the day during like when RE4 was first coming out,
Hmm.
it was kind of deep.
He swings the chainsaw just similar to the giant version of him, and him
Yeah,
chopping down
yeah,
buildings and stuff like that. It makes him more ferocious. It makes him stand out more, and that's what I
Yeah,
really want to see with specific villains like that in this remake.
exactly.
exactly, man, and the potential that he could possibly be like a boss fight at some point,
Yeah, like a
or just like a
stalker or something,
mutation,
man.
you know? Yeah.
Be crazy.
Alrighty, man. So we're gonna move on to specifically talking about RE4. So what did you guys think about the character designs, like specifically the main four, being Leon, Ada, Ashley, and Luis?
So I will go first again. I thought Leon's design looked amazing. The jacket is chef's kiss, and I love the tribute they paid with RE 3.5, which is awesome that they used the asset for that. Um, I was really critical about Nick Apostolides' voice acting in Infinite Darkness, but for this
Mm,
specific game, I don't know how he sounds. He literally just proved me wrong. He sounds so damn good. Like he sounds like he can fill Paul Mercier's shoes really well and create his
mm,
own version of Leon out of it. He sounds a lot better than what he did in ID, and not only I think this game could really help him take that big leap for being more a well-known voice actor compared to being this under the radar kind of guy. So I'm really happy for him and I have heavy faith that he's going to kill it in the game.
for sure, man.
I'm gonna say for Ashley as well, she really sounds similar to Nicole Tompkins, which is Jill's voice actress in RE3 Remake. So I'm it's not confirmed yet, but if that is the case, then I'm surprised because she's been putting in a lot of work for Capcom because 3 consecutive games she has voice acted in, RE3
Mm,
Remake for Jill, Village for Elena and Daniela, and now possibly Ashley. So I'm happy for her as well, especially on how much work she's putting in. So it's really, really good for her. But I'm not too sure if this is going to be like a problem necessarily for using recycling the same voice actors for like the same games or new installments, but I don't think it will be, especially if they
mm,
sound different compared to like their other performances. It'll be really good.
yeah,
Um,
Yeah.
Luis for me sounded really good and his outfit was good, but it's gonna take some time for me to get used to his face for some reason. I just can't really get behind it yet. But maybe if I play the game like at least once or twice, I'm probably gonna get used to it.
Yeah.
But one thing that
mm,
is raising my suspicion about this guy is that he looks like he's plotting stuff.
yeah,
Like this dude was smiling a whole lot in the trailer, and it's like they're making him a bad guy or something because that would be crazy to begin with if they did. And he looks like he's plotting to backstab you at the perfect time. It's just I'm a little conspicuous about that, but
yeah.
he sounds really
Yeah.
good.
That's what I got from it as well.
So next is for Ada is that I love her look. They went back to the RE2 remake look for her face model. It looks great. Her outfit is good. And I hope her story is good because I want separate ways in this remake. It's a 100% must happen.
Hmm.
And I heard some people on Twitter say that her voice actress is the same person who played Ada in Welcome to Raccoon City, which is Lily Gao.
Mm,
And once I
Don't think
compared
so.
the
Okay.
voices, they sounded very similar. But how am I feeling about it? I'm actually not feeling it at all. I'm not too on board with it. No disrespect at all. It's just I feel so bad for Jolene Anderson, the RE2 remake voice actress, because she wasn't necessarily my favorite Ada voice actress, but she was really good,
Hmm.
like for
yeah,
what she was able to work with. But I really feel bad for her because Capcom, it feels like they did her dirty because what's crazy enough is that I ended up posting this IMDb list about the voice actors list, and she literally replied under one of them stating that she wasn't invited back to Capcom for the
for
remake, which
real.
Uh,
yeah, I'm
Oh.
dead serious.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm dead serious. I got a screenshot and everything. It's just gonna be hard for me to dig up, but I feel really bad for her because it felt like she wanted to do it again. But the sad thing is that we're gonna have to move on, just like every other great voice actor that we have encountered in the franchise, like
Yeah.
Sally Cahill,
Yeah,
Roger Craig Smith, Paul Mercier, Matthew Mercer. So it's tough to think about, but I hope Lily Gao does good enough for it to grow on me.
for sure, man.
Well, it's my turn now. Like, Leon's. I first of all, I love Leon's RE2 remake design, and I do love
Mm,
how they aged him up a little bit in RE4 in the RE4 remake. Like, he looks mature, but he still has that like. I love like he has that sadness on him now. Like that's what
Yeah.
I'm kind of that's the vibe I'm getting. Like maybe he feels guilty about the whole Ada thing that happened like years ago. Maybe he's still traumatized from Raccoon City, and you can get that vibe from him, what I like. This is what I like when it comes to remakes and seeing how they can reimagine the character design while still staying faithful to some of the most iconic looks that they have. um, I love Leon's voice actor. Leon's voice actor is cool. I like how they're trying to make him sound a little bit more gritty, a little bit more like aged up, a little bit more like a vet, like he's used to this
Yeah.
type of thing. And I love I just love the quips. He's still quippy. Um, Ashley's design. I kind of miss Ashley's big ass ears. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I miss Ashley's big ass ears. I
Man.
wish they'd make a return. Like just pull your hair back a little bit, shorty. Let me see them ears. Let me see them lobes. But other than that, like her design is cool. She looks a lot more. I don't know. She looks a lot more capable. I feel like Capcom's original design for Ashley was a little bit too cartoony. Like she kind of looked
Mhm.
like the average damsel in distress. And I do like how the remake is more humanizing her. Like, and now she's wearing an outfit. You would act like, I don't know why she's in Spain. Maybe she got brought to Spain and an original. I don't know. I forgot how she got kidnapped originally, but like her outfit fits the setting now, rather than her wearing like a 2-inch skirt and shit like that. So I love her
Yeah.
design, and her voice actress is pretty. I didn't hear enough lines, but like I think it's a calm one. Ada, I have a gripe with Ada's voice actress. It doesn't hit. I gotta hear how she sounds like in more cutscenes to make a
Yeah.
real choice on that. But her design is perfect. Her design is pitch perfect. Now Lewis, Lewis. I said this once. I said this again. He looks like somebody that sells gas station alcohol to minors. He does not look like Lewis in the original. He looked suave and charming. He looked like he was mysterious, but at the end of the day, you can trust him. This Lewis, he just looks like he's about to any given moment, any opportunity, he's gonna stab you in the back. Which kind of
Yeah.
connects to some of the leaks that people were saying Lewis might be a surprise boss this time.
Man.
So I wouldn't be surprised if he is, but if that's just how he's looking, I mean, to be honest, with the way this village looks and how decrepit and destroyed it looks, I'm guessing it might have I'm guessing he's one of the resident like scientists there. It might have stressed him out. That's why he looks like that. But hey, man, all dude needs is a shower, and he's gonna be fine. And that's my opinion on that. But his voice actor is doing a good job too.
So for me, I mean, just like you guys, I think Leon looks amazing. This goes for Leon and Ashley. I love how they're bringing back the beta concepts, like the beta jacket and Ashley's beta outfit. I freaking love the looks for both of them. Nick Apostolides from the trailer clip so far, he's sounding really good. I really like that it's you can tell like you guys were saying, it sounds like he's has that trauma from Raccoon City. You can really hear that in his voice, I feel like.
Yeah.
Just
He's
by
got
the
those emotional scars on him.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So overall,
100%.
he sounds really good. Like I said, Ashley, I really like the outfit. I honestly like it more than her original, if I'm gonna be honest.
For real.
So, and okay, Ada, I like her outfit. I like her look. I think it could be a little better, but I will say I don't mind it.
Yeah.
And same thing with you guys. I think her voice acting's a little iffy. It's gonna
Yeah.
take time to
Yeah.
get used to that. But yeah, the look looks decent. And then Luis looks a little weird. I wish he would have been looking a little similar to his original design. You know, me personally, I don't think he looks like his original design at all. Like,
He
Yeah,
doesn't.
he doesn't.
and yeah, man, I just really wish they would have kind of kept that similar look. And I also have the same feelings for you guys. Based off the trailer, they're making him look like he's some like mysterious like bad guy working on the
Mastermind,
other
yeah.
end or something. I mean, I think there was even like a scene in the trailer where like Leon held him to a wall and he was like yelling at him like, "What are you doing here? Who are you?"
And
Yeah.
Luis is
Like-
smiling his ass off.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
it's like I don't know about that, man. I really like in the original how they had that bond almost, you know, and I
Yeah.
like the whole leaks thing, him mutating. I didn't like the sound of that either, man. I would really like to see him help Leon and Ashley throughout and not make him some sort of like bad guy, you know. I just don't think that's a role fit for him.
Yeah.
I feel that. I feel that. Alrighty, so I guess I'll go next. For Leon, I mean, obviously the freaking Leon looks sick, man. I like how they took the overall concept of RE2 remake and just kind of like enhanced it to make him look more rugged and more um, kind of traumatized and upset. You know, he's kind of got this like a blank stare kind of thing. You know, like he's kind of lost in the back of his head, just like replaying the events of Raccoon City just over and over. You know, like he can't get over it. He's kind of like, I don't know. I'm just really liking that aspect about him. He's not just the same old goofy Leon from, you know, the OG RE4 that just gets dropped into Spain and just starts pulling off all these one-liners and just suplexing Ganados, you know?
Yeah.
I'm really liking this darker tone to him, and I think Nick, he's doing an awesome job on his voice, man. I mean,
Yeah.
me and Center were kind of talking about that like back in the day, just like we were kind of concerned about how good he was going to be able to do his voice just
Mhm.
because he sounded so, I guess, like kind of wimpy in the RE2 remake.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, he's doing an awesome job, man. Like he himself, the actual voice actor, has said that, you know, he's like a huge fan of Resident Evil, so he obviously knows, you know, the type of stuff that he's got to do to, you know, pull this off.
Yeah.
And for Ada, you know, I'm liking her design a lot. The more tactical vibe from her is, you know, it's really awesome, and it kind of fits the setting more because it's like the middle of winter, right? So, I mean, in the original, she's kind of just running around in this, you know, this weird dress. I prefer the original design a lot more, but I kind of like the way that they're going in the remake. But it seems almost like they kind of changed her face a little bit compared to the remake. Like, I don't know if you guys kind of notice that. I don't know if her makeup is different or something, or hair. Something
I-
about her is just different, though.
Yeah, I think it's her hairstyle because if you look at the RE2 remake one and looking at that, I feel like the face is the same, but with a few little twitches, just like Leon's face model. But I think
Yeah.
it's more specifically of Ada's hair that makes it look a lot more different.
That's what I want to say.
Yeah.
Like, I do like her model. Don't get me wrong, but I would say I almost prefer her model from the RE2 remake more.
Exactly. Yeah.
So,
I would prefer, yeah, they just kept the face model, just, you know, just
Yeah.
kept her face, just put the, you know, the
Yeah.
tactical, yeah, style of clothing onto her. But yeah, and I haven't really been able to analyze the voice actor too much, so I can't really have an opinion on that. But from what you guys are saying, you guys aren't really feeling it, but, you know, I'm not entirely sure. But moving on to Ashley, you guys will remember I was talking some mad trash on Ashley and her design, saying that she looks like a Karen and freaking like her hairstyle sucks, you know?
Yeah.
But I'm guessing it was just in the picture that we got in the first trailer because it was kind of at a weird angle.
Mhm.
But I'm really liking her design now, like honestly probably more than the original. So
Yeah.
that was kind of a massive change for me. I'm liking her clothing style. I'm actually kind of liking the hair now. It's kind of weird, but it's, you know, it's kind of cool at the same time.
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
And for Luis, like you guys, I know you guys are hating on Luis's design and, you know, just worrying about if he's gonna be like kind of a douchebag in the remake, but I'm kind of liking his design, man. I mean, he does look kind of dirty, like he can't be trusted. He kind of reminds me of a pirate or something. I don't know. He just
Ah.
looks like,
Yeah, I get those vibes. Yeah.
he looks,
That's-
yeah, like kind of nasty, like he's mischievous, he's up to something, you know. But this might be an unpopular opinion, but I could take that, you know, I could take him being a douchebag in the remake. Like, I honestly wouldn't really care. But I know for like you guys, you probably wouldn't really be down with that.
I
I
mean,
mean, I don't know.
I don't
Wouldn't
like.
mind it, but
like.
you know, I think it's just more of the nostalgia factor of on how he was in the original. It's just like
Yeah.
it's more of the nostalgia
Yeah.
factor where we're kind of worried if they're gonna take his character a different route because
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
don't want Luis to be a bad guy or a boss fight and mutate into something completely different.
Exactly.
Like
Yeah.
it'd be so heartbreaking. It'd be like Capcom, what WTF? Seriously. So I feel like
Facts.
if they could give him
Man.
like a like a little bit of a douchebaggy personality, but be a good guy deep down, then I'm all for it, like
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah.
But
feel that.
yeah, I think it's more of the nostalgia factor with his character and personality.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they could kind of make it to where he's kind of an anti-hero because he was working with Ada, remember? So it
Yeah.
could kind of be like he's kind of sneaky, but he's not exactly working with Sadler, so he's not entirely a bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I could see that working, but I mean, I wouldn't want him to turn into like a huge, bad guy villain, that you're gonna
Yeah.
hate and yeah, like I wouldn't be down with that.
Me neither.
Yeah, so yeah, we're gonna move on to the gameplay and combat mechanics, and specifically the new stealth edition and the OG combat implementations, like the button prompts and all that.
All right, so I'm gonna go first. So first off, I actually don't think QuickTime events are going nowhere. I think that was one of the things that stood out with RE4 compared to any other RE game. It implemented the QuickTime events, it translated to the other ones, and with on Leon fighting off of a Ganado like literally face to face, and you have to repeatedly tap a button to get it off. It
Mm.
feels like QuickTime events are there. Even with Leon combating a chainsaw with a knife, which is on par with Chris's boulder punch. I'm gonna be honest with y'all on that. You had to press a button to in order to like interact with that. So it feels like QuickTime events are going nowhere. I love that the knife is going to be a huge factor, whether if it's parrying combos and also with the ability to upgrade its durability and power. I love that feature so much. And it
Mm.
probably could get to the point where the knife be indestructible and you could do like a knife only challenge or something like that. It'd be really cool. The roundhouse kick looks really, really good. I'm really happy to see those little factors. And in the gameplay trailer, it looked like Leon was able to get 2 Ganados in one kick. So that factor is there.
Mm.
And it's like, you can it's always like your crowd control type of thing, whether you do a roundhouse kick or a shotgun blast. It's like that factor's still there. I'm happy about that. The only thing is that when we move on to the cultists in the castle, are we still going to be able to send these motherfuckers to Suplex City?
Man,
That is
I mean,
true.
I hope so. I hope so.
Because the suplex is one of the most funnest things to do. Because no matter what, TMP or handgun, we shoot their legs and then we want to bust their heads open with the suplex. So I
Yeah.
really want that to
Yeah.
happen.
The only
stealth
thing is
edition-
it's so dramatic, I mean, it's like
Yeah.
dropping freaking Brock Lesnar into Spain. It's like what?
I live for
I
that
agree.
drama. Screw it.
And with the stealth edition, especially with the atmosphere, whether when it's dark and the crouching ability, it's so damn good because if
Mhm.
Chief Mendez is stalking the village, the crouch and stealth mechanic is going to be one of the biggest factors, specifically in the village. But again, there's been this rumor that we're going to be getting multiple stalkers, so it could be potentially that the stealth mechanic is going to be one of the biggest factors in the game, especially when you're with Ashley. So whenever you crouch, I hope Ashley crouches with you or something like that.
Yeah.
So there's definitely that. Was there anything else that I was going to mention? No, not really. I guess I'm done.
Like I love the combat and how fluid it is. Like I'm not knocking the original RE4, but it was really static. Like you'd have to walk to one place and then activate another, and like even to hop over like fences or gates. But now in the remake, like since there's so many advancements in animation and design, you can just fluidly jump over fences. Like quick, like Leon, I witnessed Leon get casually punched in the face by a villager and just keep running after that. Like I love situations like that because now since the combat is more fluid, it makes moments more intense. I know a lot of people preferred, the stop and shoot mechanics, which is cool for older generational games. But like I feel like with this new one, since it's more fast paced and on your toes, it kind of matches with the villagers being a lot more aggressive towards Leon. Like of course now he's not going to be standing and shooting because it worked in the previous ones because the villagers were a lot like slower. Like they walk towards you, they shuffle towards you.
Yeah.
These villagers, they're a lot more aggressive. They start jogging towards you. They punch you and grab you and stuff like that. So I feel like Leon moving and shooting and being like just a powerhouse with the roundhouse kicks and all of that, like it's amazing. I do want to see him suplex a motherfucker. So I'm looking forward to that if that is still in the game. That's one thing I really want to see him do. But the gameplay looks solid. I'm very sold on having the chainsaw guy and that big knife fight versus the chainsaw. Like I love that, and I do love that they're showing a little bit of the stealth mechanics. All I'm thinking about when I was seeing the stealth is the Krauser boss fight. I feel like the Krauser boss fight with the ability to parry with your knife is gonna be an amazing boss fight. You're gonna have to probably sneak around Krauser, try to parry his knife attacks, and do things like that. Because you know, back in the old game, you can kill Krauser with your knife. So I feel like Capcom is now gonna lean into that boss fight. Maybe there's a moment where you lose your gun and you can't fight Krauser with your pistol. So you're gonna have to really hone up on your knife skills to fully defeat Krauser in the boss fight. And that's what I'm kind of feeling when I seen you can parry enemies with your knife, and I seen you can like sneak around enemies. I think that's gonna help out with especially with the military island in general. Maybe the military island's gonna be like stealth heavy because a lot of the enemies in the military island were like super hard, especially with regenerators and stuff.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah,
my thoughts
exactly.
on it.
So after we saw like that first reveal trailer,
Mhm.
it really looked like they were gonna take that super horror focused approach. So that was really like a concern for me going into this because I really feel like they need to retain somewhat of that combat,
Mhm.
that heavy combat or whatever.
Yeah.
But man, like I think they did a fine job just seeing that small clip, man. I mean, it almost looks more fast paced compared to the original.
Yeah.
Like MMDVG was saying, they're super aggressive compared to the original. They're not walking towards him, they're running towards him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dr. Salvador is almost like Super Salvador from the Water World. I mean, he's just
Yeah.
swinging his chainsaw everywhere, like freaking running towards Leon. I mean, it's insane. The stealth, I really like the stealth. I think it's gonna bring a new perspective to the game. We can have some heavy combat sequences, and then there could be some stealth areas in the game.
Yeah.
That'd be a great job in having both action and horror into one game if they're
The
trying to do
stealth,
that, which it
I
looks
really
like
like
they
the-
are.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
I am really pleased with what we have seen so far.
For sure, bro. So yeah, I guess I'm going up next. Man, those freaking button prompts. I was so excited to see that. Like when I was watching that for the first time yesterday, my jaw was seriously just like dropped because I was so just interested on whether they were gonna add, combat mechanics like that because, in the original that it was basically, most of the hands-on combat was through button prompts,
Yeah.
and I was just kind of like wondering, okay, are they gonna add that in? And I couldn't really, I guess, figure out a way in my head on how they would do that and how it would look modern, and just seeing them do that and it looking so freaking fluid was just amazing, man. And I
Yeah.
also like how it almost looks like the Ganados are and Dr. Salvador, just like everybody that are against Leon are just kind of working together, to just like take him down because you see like
Yeah.
Ganados are holding him back while like you have freaking Dr. Salvador coming up, swinging his chainsaw about to decapitate him. It's insane, man. I mean, I think I was watching something that it was saying for like somebody that's already played parts of RE4 were saying that it was faster than the RE3 remake, and that was the fastest that you were able to move over all the remakes so far. So it's definitely going to be like a fast-paced game, and I'm really just all for that. I mean, like you guys said, the Ganados are running at you. It's just going to be like so. I get the word action heavy gets a bad rep because it was a lot of people
It
say
strayed
that's
away
what
from
yeah
their
that's
format.
what yeah that's what kind of ruined Resident Evil. But I mean, just look at it, man. Like it just looks insane. But yeah,
Yeah.
If you can
um,
quickly, yeah,
yeah, it's
go
just.
ahead.
Oh yeah, I was gonna talk about the stealth edition. So, weren't you guys yesterday kind of talking about that it kind of looked like The Last of Us or something?
Yeah, someone mentioned that. I think who was
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Was it me
100%.
or was it you?
I think it was you, and then I bounced off of that with the clickers.
I
Yeah.
swear it was. But either way, yeah. Now
Yeah,
that I ended up looking at it, it's really similar.
it really does. It looks like it, man. And you were talking about Mendes being a stalker earlier, and I was thinking about something. imagine, so you guys remember the part, right, where you have to go to Mendez's house and then you have to take the key?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine if they expand that and kind of like they expand the entire house, you know?
Yeah.
They add like Ganados, you know, just I mean, I guess like Mendez's bodyguards or something like that.
Yeah.
You have Mendez in the house, you know? So you got to kind of like sneak your way into the house and like get past all of these Ganados, you know? You can like sneak up behind them, knife them in the back of the head, you know?
Yeah.
But
I
overall, you gotta like get past Mendez and just get to that key. Like I just thought that would be insane.
You know what? I honestly believe that because in the gameplay trailer, the first villager's house was actually like fully explorable. Like he had a basement. He had like there was so many things to do in that one villager's house. And I think even
Yeah,
when Leon jumps out the window, it was still in that one villager's house. So I strongly believe that they're gonna make Mendez's house like basically a chapter of its own. Kind of like how the Baker house. Like it's like
yeah,
Jack Baker is just stalking you all throughout the house. I think that's what Mendez is gonna basically be.
That'd be pretty
that's
crazy.
insane, man.
And
Pretty
another big
dope.
question is, are they gonna go back to the chapter format?
Oh yeah, man. I
Hmm.
mean, I would, like I said yesterday, I would guess not, just because they haven't done it, you know, since RE6. So
Yeah, that's. Oh, another thing that they actually kind of haven't done since RE6 that I totally forgot to talk about was the sprinting mechanic. Leon has the ability to sprint in this game. I think Revelations 2 did it as well.
mm,
So it really feels like that's going to be another factor because if the Ganados are able to sprint at you, I think Leon is able to do that as well. And another thing that should be mentioned is the ability for the Ganados to communicate with each other to trap Leon. I think that's going to be one of the key things in the first Ganado encounter.
Yeah.
yeah. Alrighty, so let's move on to our personal, just overall thoughts on what we like from what we've seen so far about the remake.
So I think I'm gonna go with my pros first. Number one, without a doubt, is the gameplay. Like it really just feels like original RE4 expanded with new graphics, new mechanics. It just feels good. And one thing
Mhm.
that I am really hoping for is more of gameplay quick time events compared to cutscene quick time events.
Yeah,
Because the cutscene quick time events is something that would totally catch you off guard. Like you're just chilling there, your controller, you like it's not in your hands, and you're just watching a cutscene, and then you see two buttons pop up, and then boom, you're dead. It's like I think that's a little off guard, though. I think the only time when they should do that is the Krauser knife fight, in my opinion. But either way, like the statue for Salazar, that one, I hope that's more of a cutscene or just cut from the game in general for that. The gameplay was great. I think the voice acting is really, really good. I still need to, I need Ada's voice actress to grow on me. I think the merchant, I think he's going to be really, really good. He's speaking of him, the Duke and the merchant, they sound like the same guys. Like, because when I first heard Over Here Stranger, it
yeah,
sounded exactly like the Duke for some
Yeah.
reason, just a lot more toned into RE4 original Merchant. I
yeah,
think the upgrading system, I think that is going to be so awesome to see. I love the inventory system with having the small case and then you're going to upgrade to bigger cases just like what Village did. So I'm
yeah.
really happy about that. I think the only cons is basically the next topic that we were going to end up talking about though, but I'm going to stay quiet about that until we get to that. So
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's my overall pros on this situation because there's not really much to nitpick about for this remake because it just looks so good. The gameplay's fun, it looks like. I'm just waiting for a demo.
Same, man. I mean, that was kind of the only downside to the RE showcase, in my opinion, was just they didn't give us that demo release date.
Yeah.
I had a feeling that that October release date was fake. It was more. It's
Yeah,
crazy
Yeah.
because they ended up doing a demo for the third-person village gameplay. But
yeah,
yeah, that's interesting. But anyways, yeah, I'm done.
Um, I really loved, like I said again, I love the fluid combat. I love the enemy designs. The enemy designs are more terrifying, more decrepit. I love how the environmental design is a chef's kiss. It's amazing. The combat
mhm,
is super cool. The button prompts are cool. I don't like. I kind of agree with Center. I don't think they're gonna bring back those cutscene quick time events that can insta kill
yeah,
you. I honestly don't think they're gonna do that anymore. I think they're gonna go for a more immersive route. So those cutscenes are probably just gonna play out normally as if there was a quick time event. And I honestly love the dark theme of the whole remake. It looks really dark. I love it. I love some of the character redesigns. Um, what I don't really love is some of the voice acting is kind of eh. So I'm hoping like I just probably got to hear some more lines like spoken, whatever. But
Mm,
other than that, everything about this game, I love it. It's amazing. It's everything I really wanted with the remake. Instead of just tearing things down and building something like a little too new, it building upon what was already great about Resident Evil 4, which is all I can ask for with this remake.
Yeah, that's exactly
yeah,
what you want. That's definitely a W.
So, yeah, I mean, like I'm totally agreeing with you guys. Like everything I've seen so far, the game is looking more and more promising. I mean, and after we saw that gameplay, I mean, it almost looks like, yeah, they're like improving upon from the original in the way that we want. You know, everything looks better. I mean, the aggressive enemies, the fluid combat, I mean, it all just looks really good. Um, I kind of agree with you guys. Some of my a few concerns would be like the voice acting and the characters. I
mm,
really didn't care for Luis's look. I really didn't care for Salazar's look. I think they should have given Salazar his hat from the original
yeah,
to complete his wardrobe. But yeah, I mean, aside from those minor nitpicks, everything I've seen so far looks amazing.
for sure, man. I mean, with
RE
me
Engine,
too. Oh, are you still
R-
going?
RE Engine is making this game look amazing. Like it's truly incredible, man. Just seeing all the like the Del Lago, the El Gigante, like it all just looks insane, man.
100%.
I'm so
Yeah,
glad they're back. I'm so glad that the Del Lago rumor about that being cut was finally put to
Yeah.
rest.
yeah,
I'm so happy about that. Thank goodness.
El
Yeah.
Gigante looks amazing.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
man.
sure, dude.
I was
Yeah.
blown away whenever I saw him, or you know.
Mm.
So
I mean, man, like you're right. The freaking RE engine, it's just stunning. You know,
it really
everything
is, man.
about it. Yeah, the environment design, the character designs, everything. It's just amazing. Everything is so polished looking. Uh, like I said, the character designs are amazing. Um, Again, the combat mechanics, everything just looks so just fast paced. You know, just action packed. But at the same time, there's still that fear factor where you kind of have to just anticipate every moment. You don't exactly know what's gonna come out at you.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's just a really, it's a weird dynamic almost, but it works.
for
I don't know.
sure.
But yeah, just overall the remake, I'm loving everything about it. Just there was some character designs I didn't like. Like you mentioned Salazar. Seriously, dude, when I first saw that, I thought it was a girl. Like I thought it was a grandma. I thought it was a new character, man.
I was like, who
I
put George
mean,
Washington into the game, bro?
Right.
Honestly, I
yeah,
just
like
want to see Salazar smile with his teeth, bro. Like, are they like perfectly fine or are they straight up wood?
I think they would. They gotta be.
I don't know.
He got the
I mean,
dentures
man,
on.
Oh man.
Oh,
yeah,
also, let's acknowledge on how good the Verdugos look.
yeah,
Oh
Oh,
my
that's the
god.
thing, man. They look
Intimidating.
terrifying.
they look,
Yes.
yeah.
Like the claws, they are literally gigantic, man. It's
Yeah,
they had I think them, Krauser, and from what we've seen as of right now, them and Dr. Salvador have the biggest potential to be more
Yeah.
ferocious than
mm.
any other enemy.
They're
Oh,
freaking tall too, man.
guys, I gotta
Yeah.
pose a question though. I gotta pose a quick
What's up? What's
question.
up?
What do you guys think of the crafting system?
I'm glad it's here,
Mm.
but I don't I'm not saying that it's necessarily ran its course. I feel like I said that in one of my videos, but I really do like it though. But if it's gonna be like the same formula, then I'm fine with it. I feel like, but also at the same time, I feel like the crafting system is making the game a lot more easier for the player.
Yeah,
I feel like, yeah, because with the original Resident Evil games, there wasn't really a crafting system, and I feel like when we keep on seeing them in RE7, 2 remake, 3 remake, Village, and now 4, so 5 straight games of the crafting system, I really just don't want it to be really like that easy going for the player. Like there has to be like some sort of difficulty, but honestly, it could just depend on what difficulty you're playing on. Like,
Yeah.
could the
Yeah.
crafting system not be that good on professional difficulty? We won't know until we find out.
Yeah.
I
100%.
mean, they could balance it out too, just by giving you less ammo. You know, just you have to
Yeah.
find, more parts to actually make it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you gotta know how to, use your resources and save them up and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I'm all for it. I'm all for it, especially with the
same,
merchant.
man.
The merchant. To bounce off what Senna was saying, the merchant's voice actor. Uh, I don't know. I liked it, but at the same time, it's like, eh,
It's kind of weird a
Yeah.
little bit.
I
I mean,
feel you,
yeah,
man.
it was
I
different.
totally agree.
Do you
yeah.
guys kind of wish that Paul came back to reprise the merchant role?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would scream so loud if that was the oh man, I would have been too hyped for it.
I
man.
mean, it's good, don't get me wrong, but it just doesn't hit the same like the original, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like again, it literally sounds so similar to the Duke. I feel like if I
Yeah.
could just compare with those two within like some quick 30 minutes short or whatever the case may be, but yeah, they sound similar.
yeah,
I hope he grows on me either way. I love the
Yeah.
merchant's design though. Like it looks
Oh
so
yeah.
damn good.
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure, man. Alrighty, so we're gonna be moving on to just discussing the unrevealed material that we haven't seen yet. So that includes the island section, that
Mhm.
includes Krauser, and I mean, to me, most importantly, the regenerators. Like, where are they
Yeah.
at, man?
So I'm gonna get onto the Krauser topic. So there's this big rumor that is saying that Krauser is in the intro cutscene when he is kidnapping Ashley, which is why Ashley has essentially a straitjacket on her, which I am assuming that is
Oh
when they
wow.
inject her with the Plaga, because we saw
Mm,
that in the first 20 seconds of the 2-minute trailer we got yesterday.
Yeah.
Um, I think Krauser, I think that factor is going to be where you're going to have to play through the game a lot more to really find out if he's really in this game. But then again, if the intro cutscene is true, then, we're sitting pretty, seriously.
yeah,
And I think involving, first off, I want to touch on the Garradors. I want them to be legit. I want them to, if there's like this underground section in the castle, that's where I want the Garradors to be in. Because it was
yeah,
literally like that when you had to get the prison key, unlock it, pull the lever, get rid of the fire horses, and then go into the water room. Oh my god, I can't imagine what the water room is gonna look like.
man.
That's gonna be crazy. I think the island is interesting to say, but the thing is that it wasn't really in the original. It wasn't connected to the village and castle. You had to drive or ride a boat essentially like a mile away to go to that island. So we
Yeah,
don't know if it is cut. We don't know if it's in there. We're gonna have to wait and find out. But I still feel like that formula is gonna be there, where you're gonna have to drive off to the island because again, it's not connected. I think the regenerators, if the island is still in the game, the regenerators will have to be there without a doubt.
yeah,
But if the island's cut, then apparently if there's like this lab section in the castle, that's where they have to be, because I think Capcom knows they are not stupid enough to cut the most
Yeah.
iconic thrilling enemy in Resident Evil 4, and I think a lot of people can agree with me when I say that.
Yeah.
yeah,
Um, and last but not least, Wesker. I think you're gonna have to play through separate ways to really know if he's in the game or not. But I wouldn't mind if there was like this little brief cameo and then him being added more with separate ways. But or maybe even just the mention from Leon when he first encountered Ada. I just hope Wesker is honestly, I should say, a playable character in Mercenaries along with Luis.
yeah,
So I think it's all gonna have to be just wait and see if there's any more trailers or demos or anything like that. But
Yeah.
really do believe that the Regenerators, Krauser, Wesker, and even the U3. I'm not sure if the U3 is gonna be there though, specifically because the environment that with the containers, it feels like Capcom would cut that section out of the game. It
yeah,
feels like they would put it in more of a sort of like either battle arena or just straight up like a big area where you can just fight the U3 without, being worried about a timer and going to a different container or something like that.
yeah.
And another thing that I totally forgot to mention was I think sadly, I'm confident when I say this when I mean he gets cut. I sadly think Mike, the helicopter guy, is going to get cut from the remake.
Man,
No.
I
man,
sadly think that because like if the island isn't much of a big factor, and if they're going to be more focused on like ground level combat, I just don't expect Mike to be there, especially if the island Ganados have, you know, those Gatling guns or JJs there or anything like that.
Yeah.
But
Hmm.
I think the one guy that I'm worried about getting cut the most, which is more than likely, is Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. True. Damn.
But
Well.
done.
Oh, you done?
Yep.
Well, the unrevealed material for me, like, the island section, I gotta get that out of the way. Like, I'm one of the only few people I hated the island. So there's a part of me that like I want to see the regenerators. I kind of love Ashley's truck section. I want to see some like iconic moments that happen in the island happen. But there's also another part of me that's like, I fucking hate the island. Like I hate it. But I slowly realized why I hated the island. All right, this is gonna like Resident Evil 4. This is an unpopular opinion. Resident Evil 4 is a tad bit too long, and it drags out
Mhm.
towards the end of the castle. Like I don't like the Novistadors in the castle. Like I don't like the Novistadors as an enemy. They're kind of annoying. And there's some sections of the castle that kind of feel like it's just padding on runtime. Like the double
Yeah.
El Gigante fight, it's kind of just random. It's random as hell.
Mhm.
The minecart section is fun, but it is kind of like, oh, all right. And like I guess the Salazar statues kind of just like there's so many things, elements within the castle that kind of felt like they were just ham-fisted in. So by the time I got to the island, I was kind of already like, oh, all right, like damn, like so I feel like that's where my gripe with the military island is. I think the military island is gonna be in the game. I've noticed in like some people have like the map of RE4 and they noticed like the abandoned factory and they thought that was gonna be that's like the lab or whatever. I don't think that's the lab. I think that's just for the Chief Mendez fight because you do like he
Yeah.
does have the trolley, like the little trolley that gets you to the like the little factory zone for the mines and all of that. So I think that's just for the Mendez fight. I think the abandoned factory
Mhm.
is just gonna be more expanded upon when you do fight Mendez. So that's why I think that section is for the castle. I think they're gonna cut some parts of the castle and try to figure out how to like make it flow into the military island. I still think the military island is gonna be a thing, but I don't think it's gonna be as grand or as big. I feel like it's gonna be mostly like the lab in RE2. Like the lab in RE2 is
Mhm.
pretty short, but like it's super like it's difficult, but it's short. So I think that's what they're kind of gonna do. I do hope they bring in the regenerators because the regenerators are like Senator said, they're such an iconic enemy. So if they cut
Mhm.
that, that's kind of missing the mark on it. I do think they're gonna like what Center said is I do think the Gyarados are gonna be in the basement of the castle, and I do think the Gyarados are gonna replace the Novistadors if they don't have any Novistadors in this remake. That's what I do think. I hope the
Yeah.
Gyarados are still in the game, and I did hear rumors that JJ was cut from the island, and I wouldn't be surprised if he was, but I would be kind of like sad. But it's one of those things where, all right, it's something you kind of understand because JJ as an enemy in a remake, it wouldn't really like. I don't think he has the intensity factor. JJ was kind of like he was intense in a previous one because of how the gameplay was with the
Yeah.
semi tank controls and with Leon stopping and shooting. You have to think around with JJ, but like in the remake you can run around and like do kicks and shit. So it's like JJ wouldn't be as intimidating. He wouldn't be as difficult as the type of enemy he is. And
Yeah.
that's just my viewpoints and thoughts.
So I like you guys. I think the island will be in the game. You know, it was like pretty much a third of the game. I really think they might cut back at it, but I really think it's gonna be in the game. You know, that's where we see Krauser for most of the time.
Yeah.
Um, I'm really interested to see the approach they're gonna take for the island. You know, they're with them taking this horror approach. You know, how are they gonna, I guess, reduce that action? You know, maybe they could have more lab sequences or something like that to balance it out. Because I mean, it was real action heavy, and I think that was an issue for many. So
Yeah.
it's I guess that's my main like interest is how that's gonna play out. I don't think the uh, regenerators are gonna get cut. I mean, it was a staple from the original.
Mhm.
It would honestly kill the game for many. I mean, it was so iconic hearing them, you know, make that breathing sound or whatever.
Sound like
Yeah.
they're getting tickled.
And yeah, and I mean, like if they are gonna be in the game, like seeing enemies like Dr. Salvador and like the Ganados really makes me like interested to see how terrifying they're gonna make the regenerators in this game. Gets me
Yeah.
super excited. Um, I think the village is gonna be like expanded upon. I think the village is gonna be like the big chunk of the game, and I think
Yeah.
the castle, like you guys were saying, the castle could drag on for a bit, so they might cut that back a bit.
Yeah.
I still think they're gonna keep a lot of the enemies like the Garradors and stuff, all those like because I mean honestly everything's pretty iconic if you think about it. So I really don't think they're gonna remove most of these enemies.
Yeah.
I personally wouldn't mind if they cut the Novistadors though because they were pretty annoying. But I mean it's kind of up in the air. JJ, I mean he really didn't play that big of a part, so I could see them cutting JJ. You know, I think we only saw like two JJs on the island, so I
Yeah.
could see them cutting those guys. But yeah, overall, I'm really excited to see the island and what approach they're gonna take with it.
For sure, man. I mean, I probably have a different opinion than you guys, and I kind of bounce back and forth between opinions too, because like as of right now, I could not give a crap about the island section or Krauser, to be honest. Like I know that might sound like crazy to you guys, but just think of this, you know. The core aspect of RE4 was what? The village and the castle, you know? Like when you think of RE4, that's mostly, you know, the parts that you're thinking about.
100%.
You had you had Sadler, you know, having Luis as a researcher for the Los Illuminados. So, and you had that, you know, at the island section, you know, in the lab. But if they cut the island section, they could totally just move that to the castle, you know? You had Mendez, or my bad, Sadler trusting Salazar because Salazar's castle houses the cultists of the Los Illuminados, you know? Wouldn't it make sense if they added a lab, you know, like underground or something where their research can be conducted, you know, like in total secrecy, you know? And
Yeah,
they could still like have the failed experiments, the freaking regenerators, you know, just, you know, in a kind of a lab section just below the castle, you know? Like Blitz was saying, I think the remake at least is going to be way more focused on the village and castle. And then there was a factory that was mentioned. I'm not entirely sure what to think about that, but I mean, I don't know. But I could totally, like, I don't give a crap about the island section, but with Krauser, okay, I think literally anyone can kidnap Ashley besides Krauser, you know? And there could be another way for Wesker to retrieve the Plaga. You know, after he dies, he takes it off of Krauser. There could be another way that he's able to get the Plaga, just, you know, somehow. But if they do add in Krauser, I think that they seriously do. They have to add that expanded lore to him, you know?
The
Basically,
Operation
people,
Javier DLC.
yeah, just some, maybe like a flashback or something, you know, of Leon, you know, just like replaying parts of Operation Javier in his head, you know, just like kind of thinking, you know, Krauser used to be a good guy, you know, like what happened to him. But it just kind of seemed like in the original, Krauser was just a random dude they just threw in out of nowhere, you know, just like towards the end of the game, just kind of, I don't know, because they needed a
Man.
boss for the island section.
I don't know. I kind of disagree with that. I feel like he played a really big part on the island.
I mean, I
I-
could see that. I mean,
I
I'm
understand
definitely
he
not
did,
like that,
but
but
I don't know. There
go
was
ahead.
no weight between him and Leon towards the end. There was no really like he just seemed like an obstacle in a way, and I feel like this game could expand upon his role more. But like you know how Leon's infected and I'm 100% sure there's gonna be dream sequence nightmares of him battling his infection. Maybe they can throw in some Operation Javier so we get that bigger connection between him and Krauser because a lot of new people that did play Resident Evil 4 they had no idea who Krauser was. Like they was just like, oh, it's
Oh
just some
yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
It's just some guy from his past. So like I feel like with the remake they have this chance to fully expand on him and Leon's relationship and delve into the complexities and delve into the idea that holy shit Krauser's supposed to be dead, but here he is kidnapping the president's daughter. Here he is infected. Here is now him and Leon are finally going head to head as rivals. So now you feel the weight of their relationship rather than him just showing up in the military island and you realize, oh, this guy's another boss I just gotta fight.
Yeah.
I would also like to say is that, again, I do agree with what MMDBG was saying. It's just when newcomers end up showing up here, they're gonna be saying who is this guy and like what's like his backstory with Leon, because no one's gonna go and buy like whatever console the Dark Side Chronicles was on and play a rail shooter game just to know about that. So fans are probably gonna say, oh, they've had this story like before RE4. Why don't you guys just remake it for a DLC? Because we know for a fact Darkside Chronicles is not going to get remade anytime whatsoever. But if there's one thing that needs to be remade, it's got to be Operation Javier.
Yeah.
We know for a fact Darkside Chronicles, in terms of remakes, that's not even in the remake stratosphere as of right now.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah, I
100%
could
agree.
totally see that, man. Alrighty, so I guess we're done with the RE4 topic. So we're gonna be moving on to the Shadows of Rose DLC. So just overall, how did you guys feel about what we got for the showcase for the actual DLC? Like, I mean, did you guys enjoy it? Did you not enjoy it? I mean, like, what are your guys' thoughts?
I like that they're keeping that weird stalker enemy a huge secret, because I feel like he's going to be such an integral part to the DLC. Because I really am starting to feel like this is going to be way more slow-paced horror than
Mm-hmm.
slow-paced action, especially with on how the face eaters move, and the Duke is just like, this kingpin. He's just gonna send them all, like summon them, and then they're just gonna, literally absorb your face like a sponge or anything like that.
Yeah.
And you have to watch out where you're going as well, because the ground like is full of that weird mega micey type of thing that could just suck you into it.
Yeah.
So I feel like puzzles should be a huge factor in this DLC. I think the stalker enemy with Oh yeah, I remember I sent you guys that screenshot with Rose, and then behind her you saw those weird faces, right?
Yeah.
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 So that screenshot was so alarming to me, because I was like, is that the stalker that is holding that big barbed wire sword like thing, or whatever the
Mm-hmm.
case may be? Because I remember I said that this stalker enemy has the potential to be very similar to the Blob in Resident Evil 5's Lost in Nightmares DLC, which is like the BOW had the blob on its back, but instead for this enemy, you have just a bunch of soulless faces on its back, and then you saw the hands as well. So you're it's probably going to be one of the more terrifying enemies in the DLC.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to that mostly. I really am liking on how they kind of marketed it. I feel like they could do just a little bit more about it, like whether if you're, just seeing like a YouTube ad about it or something just out of the blue. I think
Mm-hmm.
the marketing could definitely improve, but I am excited. But yeah, it's going to be a very long DLC ride, and I hope it's really, really good.
For sure, man.
I personally I'm excited for the DLC. I'm excited to play as Rose and see what true like how powerful she really is, because all throughout Village people were saying like Rose is super powerful, and I'm finally excited to see what she's made of. And I'm like, the only thing is I agree with Senna, the marketing for this DLC has kind of been piss poor, because I still don't
Mm-hmm.
really have this sense of what's really like. I know Rose wants to get rid of her powers, but there's so many questions that I feel like need to be answered. So I'm excited to play it so those questions can be answered. But I'm kind of disappointed that they didn't really hype the DLC up, and it's been kind of a mystery until the showcase. And
Yeah.
I'm just glad to see some gameplay. I'm glad to see some of the enemies. I do wonder what that stalker enemy is with the big hammer, and I do wonder what enemies are we really gonna encounter doing this. And yeah, that's basically. I'm just excited to play it. I want to get my hands on it and finally see what it's all about, and finally play as Rose. And even though I'm kind of sad that this might be the end of the winters, I'm excited just to play some more RE content as usual.
For sure,
Absolutely.
dude. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, everything we've seen so far, it's looking really good. I remember making like my video on it, everything you need to know. And I mean, at first I was kind of iffy about it, but after making that, I mean, it looks very promising. I mean, I think the most thing I'm excited for is to, see what all Rose can do. We've seen her using her ice powers, but it
Hmm.
was said that there's more to her and stuff. So like I'm really interested about that. Um, it really looks like there's gonna be a lot of puzzle solving, which I'm totally down for. You know, it looked like Rose was using her ice powers to solve things or progress through the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, I mean, just overall, it looks really good. It looks really creepy. Seeing like all the enemies and stuff look really creepy and stuff. So yeah,
Yeah.
overall I'm pretty hyped for it, I'd say.
For sure, dude. Yeah, same with me. I mean, I was like, I know I'm gonna kind of bounce off of what Center was saying with the whole, the marketing thing sucking, and I really agree with that. And I think part of it has to do with revealing Resident Evil 4 first. It kind
Yes,
of overshadowed it.
I was 100% saying that. I feel like if they did end up revealing RE4 first, which they ended up doing, it was going to ruin the marketing for Resident Evil 8 DLC and Reverse.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, and that's exactly what happened. And then they were kind of trying to push Village, the DLC, because they realized that people were more hyped for the remake. So they just had to get
Yeah,
those sales.
yeah,
But, and yeah, I wasn't really caring too much about it at first. But after seeing, like, Evelyn, and then, oh my gosh, man, that freaking stalker enemy, it just looks so
ooh, yeah.
insane. Like, I'm just really intrigued to see, like, how the Winter Saga is seriously going to end, man. And I know MMDVG, he was saying that, he's sad that it's going to end so soon.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like, I feel you, man. But I'm just thinking, about the future of our main characters, the main four, like what are they up to? Like, I kind of feel like it kind of did get cut short, but I feel like we have to make room for our OG characters to come back at some time.
That
So
is
that's
true.
basically
I agree with that.
that's my thoughts on it.
100%.
Yeah, 'cause
Alrighty,
I
so
mean,
let's. Oh, are you gonna say something?
I was gonna say if you think about it, like at first everyone was talking about there was gonna be a trilogy, but it's like, man, that'd be Resident Evil 9. That's 1/3 of the mainline series. So I think everyone's really ready for these OG characters to step in the spotlight once again. It's been quite a while. Everyone really
Yeah,
wants to see Jill because she's been gone for such a long time. I do
yeah,
think it was cut short a little bit, but at the same time, I think people are ready to move on.
yeah. I
I
mean, it's kind of, I think a lot of people didn't like the dynamic of Ethan, just because he was, I guess, he had like no emotion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And it was
especially in
mostly,
7.
yeah, that I was just about to say that in 7. I mean, they kind of improved upon that during RE8, but I just feel like overall he wasn't a super relatable character, so I just,
Not at
yeah.
all.
Yeah, he kind of just has to go, man, and just we got to make room for, Jill to come back, for Leon. I mean,
Exactly.
yeah,
Ada, Claire, all of them, literally.
yeah. Alrighty, so do you guys think that this is a good ending to the Winter Saga? Do you think, this is gonna be a good way to conclude, I guess, the trilogy of the story? Like, what are your guys' thoughts on that?
I am 100% on board saying that this is a good ending because if we realistically do look at the timeline as of right now in 2022, this is where we're currently at in the RE timeline. Chris is about to hit 50 years old. Leon is 45. Ada's about to hit 50, and Ada is about to hit 50. Claire is about to hit 45. So it's like their time is slowly running out. These guys are not bioweapons; they're literal human beings. So in order to realistically like bring them back, you have to make this DLC about Rose, close the chapter, bring them back for RE9, whatever the case may be, and wrap these character stories up and put Rose on the shelf. If you want to bring her back in a future Resident Evil game when the legacy characters are done, I'm all for it, seriously. Because by that time when they're all done, it's going to be around 2030. Because when the Resident Evil 9 releases, it's going to be around 2025, which is where Chris will be past 50 and everyone's going to be hitting 50 years old. So I think it's going to be good for the sake of the legacy characters, but for the sake of Rose, it's more of a mystery of how is it going to turn out for her? Is she going to constantly live with these powers forever? Is she going to be free of them, or is she going to die with them? Like,
Yeah,
we really don't know because this is such a huge mystery with going inside the conscious of the Megamycete to where we won't know her fate. So it's all about how is this going to play out in the end for her sake and for the legacy character's sake, but I do think they did the right move for this to be the DLC about them. And the rumors was that Chris was going to get a DLC in this game, and I am 100% on board. I'm glad that they scrapped it because apparently it was going to be about him being like a sob fest kind of guy. We already
Yeah.
got that shit in Resident Evil 6. So I don't hate Chris. Like, I love him. He's in my top 3 Ferrari characters, but to make a DLC about him being, guilty about things, we saw that in RE6 with him. We saw that with Leon in Vendetta. We don't need to see it again with Chris. It probably would have made a lot of people more pissed off, especially with on how many appearances he's gotten. So with Rose, we have a chance to, that she can be one of our favorite characters. She could be really good. She could be really bad. We'll never know. One thing that I really am really pissed off is that why did they bury Mia so bad?
Yeah. I mean,
Because she was a complete afterthought in RE8. The only thing that we knew was that she was kidnapped by Mother Miranda and she was used for experiments. That was it. Revealed at the end. That was it. And now apparently Rose is out of her custody and Mia is completely off the face of the earth. So it's like, is she going to make an appearance for the DLC? Like, it's all unknown. It's all up in the air. But for the sake of Rose, if she does end up surviving throughout this entire DLC, I wouldn't mind putting her on the shelf and bringing her back in a future Resident Evil game with someone like Sherry Birkin.
Ooh, that'd be a nice combo.
That's
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah. Yep, I'm done.
Honestly, I'm a little disappointed that the Winter Story is ending so fast. I felt like we could have did more, especially with Ethan. When Ethan died in Village, I was kind of like, oh, I was expecting a little bit more from him because, first of all, let me lay this out there. I'm tired of everybody that is like close to Chris dying or having something traumatic happen to them. I feel like Chris is just bad luck in the entire series. I love Chris, by the way, but like, I kind of wanted more from Ethan, but I'm glad he had his finale where he went to go, save his daughter or whatever. Which it was amazing. It kind of sucks for me that Rose is giving up her powers and it's the end of the Winter Story, and that, first of all, like Senator said, Mia is just going in the wind. Nobody knows where the fuck Mia is, and she's kind of like one of the main people that started this whole thing off. And I am super disappointed that Rose is gonna lose her powers because I kind of wanted her to team up with Sherry in the future, like her to team up with the legacy characters so they can like all work together and build up a new generation of Resident Evil characters, because like Senator said, everybody's getting old now. Chris is gonna be like 50, Leon's turning 45, Ada's turning 50. Everybody's getting older, so like I kind of wanted Capcom to go in a direction where they're gonna start building up future characters for us to start to root for and stuff like that, because they're all getting old. I'm wondering if Resident Evil 9 is gonna be like their send-off game for the older characters, for the OGs. I don't know yet, but for the Winters now, I'm upset it's kind of coming to an end, but I'm happy that they're ending on a high note and rather not just dragging them out if they don't have any more stories for them to tell.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I personally never really had that connection with Ethan because they really didn't have any personality for him. But at the same time, I do think it kind of ended abruptly. Like, I really didn't expect it to end like that at the end of RE8.
Yeah.
I think there was definitely more. I feel like 7, there was no emotion at all. I feel like 8, we were starting to get something out of Ethan. And I feel like 9 could have been, a good opportunity where we finally get that, I guess, bond towards Ethan.
Yeah.
But that's not going to be the case. So yeah, I feel like it really got cut short. Like I said, I'm not too personally bummed out because now that it's going to come to an end, we are going to potentially see some of these OG characters return. Which, I mean, like Senator was saying, it's much needed. I mean, these characters are getting like super old at this point, so they really gotta. It's like it's almost like it's now or never, So
100%.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so my thoughts on it is, I mean, I really think it is a good ending to it. Like you guys were saying, it kind of did get cut short, but I think it's kind of necessary just to make room for the legacy characters. But I mean, overall, if let's say that Rose does survive the DLC, which she most likely is, and she gets her powers removed, her hate for bioweapons is probably still gonna be there, you know? I mean, after all, it's what got her father killed, you know? So there's a
Keep
very
spitting.
yeah, there's a very high chance that she could, you know, join some biohazard organization, you know, just to fight bioweapons and stuff like that, and just become, you know, a leading character in the franchise. You know, she honestly could be working with the legacy characters, or just be, you know, completely on her own in her own separate game, or just whatever, man. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely a good ending, but I'm definitely sad to see it ending so soon. I mean, I kind of had a connection with Ethan. I know you guys kind of say, you know, like that you didn't, and that's a lot of other people's opinions too, but I don't know why, but I kind of did have a connection with Ethan a little bit. And I honestly got so sad during that Evelyn scene during RE8, when she's like saying, you know, like, you died when, you know, Jack Baker killed you in RE7, you know? And I was like so sad when that happened. It was honestly just such a shame, man. I honestly
Yeah.
kind of wish it went down differently. I mean, but I don't know.
Yeah, I
But
loved
that's kind of my
Ethan.
thoughts on it. Yeah.
Yeah, he was just a normal guy trying to find his wife after 3 long years of missing, and then he got himself caught into the worst case scenario, which was Jack
Yeah.
Baker, Evelyn,
Yeah.
and it
Maybe
led to
they
his own.
maybe they should have written him dying a little bit better, because I feel like Chris, like, being the red herring villain was such like a strange like plot point, in my opinion. I kind of felt it was a little strange and out of nowhere that Chris would just be all of a sudden like secretive as hell. Like, Chris just showed up at Ethan's house, shot his wife up, and didn't explain nothing. Like, he didn't. He's like, yeah, Ethan, get out of here.
Yeah.
You're not in your depth or whatever. And it's like, Chris, what the fuck are you talking about? like it was
I
just so
know,
random,
man.
and like
Yeah.
it wasn't even a good job being a red herring, because I could tell Chris wasn't a villain. Like, I was like, there's something more to this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it was just a strange way to write off Ethan. So that's why I felt like I kind of felt bad for Ethan at that point, because it's like he basically got dragged into another thing that he didn't really want to be a part of, and it just
Yeah.
went to shit after that.
And if you compare Resident Evil 5 Chris to RE8 Chris, the first sentence that comes up is, "How the fuck did we get to this point?"
Yeah,
Man, for real.
like,
Seriously, man.
Chris just loves getting his partners killed, man. I swear to God. He
Surprised
just,
the whole squad didn't even die during the Chris part.
Jesus Christ.
It's insane, man. I mean, he was kind of a douchebag though. I mean, he's all like kicking the crap out of Ethan throughout RE8. He's got his guys kicking the crap out of Ethan. Like, it's overall just such a bad situation. That's
Yeah.
kind of why I feel for him.
Yeah, that's really true.
Yeah.
Very.
Alrighty, so we're gonna be moving on to our thoughts on the enemies in the DLC, specifically the corrupt Duke. We saw Evelyn and also that unrevealed stalker enemy. So what are your guys' thoughts on that?
So I'm gonna say that the corrupt Duke, or his name is supposedly Marquise or some shit like that, but he
Mhm.
seems really interesting. The mask is really hilarious. I mean, even if you slap the mask on him, it wouldn't make a difference because we know who he is. But I think he will be a huge plot. He has the potential to be the final boss in the DLC. But on the other hand, we got Evelyn, which we saw that crazy reveal in the DLC trailer, where it was my eyes immediately opened when I was live streaming the showcase, because I was just thinking to myself, like, wait a minute, are you telling me that she's gonna have a role into this DLC? Because if that's the case, then I'm all for it, because Mother Miranda said that Rose was the successor to Evelyn with the mold, because
Yeah.
Rose had those mold powers. So I'm just thinking and sitting now, I'm like, if Rose, Evelyn, and Eva, who I assume Dark Rose is, are all in
Yeah.
this DLC, this is about to be like quite a banger. Like,
Yeah.
I'm 100% all for it. And I already talked about the unrevealed stalker enemy. I hope somehow we either kill him, because apparently the IGN guy said that he was unkillable. But either way, it's just, I am 100% looking forward to all of these enemies, though. They all have like this weird, unique trait, but the only thing that's realistically unknown is Evelyn and Dark Rose. And also the
Yeah.
stalker enemy, well, we kind of know what we have in store. Is just, he's a stalker, unkillable, good enough.
Me personally, I kind of like. I first of all, I love the Evelyn reveal. It was kind of subtle. It's like a blink and you miss it moment. I can't wait to see how all three of them are gonna act because I'm like Senator said, I'm pretty sure Dark Rose is Eva. Like I'm 100% sure, or Ava.
Yeah.
I'm 100% sure. Like how all three of them are gonna interact because they're all basically a hive mind. So I want to see what's gonna happen. Is Evelyn gonna try to? It's gonna be like what is it called? Resident Evil Revelations moment where Evelyn tries to take over um what do you call it? Rose's body. Like she tries to she's like, oh,
Mm.
I should be the one who's walking around. I should be
Oh, yeah,
somebody's daughter.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
I
exactly.
honestly think that moment is gonna happen, or maybe Ava's gonna try to take over Rose's body and go out into the real world and stuff like that. And Rose is the one that has to
Ooh.
battle them and like get rid of the Metamycete for this. And it begs the question: is Duke a part of this whole thing? Because we see evil Duke. What I wonder. I think he's a red herring. Maybe he's trying to test Rose to see how strong she is, quote unquote. Maybe
Yeah.
I don't know because it wouldn't make sense for Duke to help Ethan all throughout the game, and then all of a sudden he's like, "All right, now I'm gonna try to kill your daughter." Like years later, like it doesn't make sense. Or maybe he's corrupted, or maybe it was a power vacuum. Maybe he wanted to get rid of Mother Miranda so he could be like the head honcho of the mold or whatever. Like there's so many questions I have with this DLC, and I'm excited. The enemies look insane. The face suckers look fucking scary as hell. I want to know what that stalker is, and yeah, that's it.
Yeah, man. I mean, the enemies truly look terrifying, and I'm really curious to see what it's all about. I think my one thing about like the whole stalker thing, and this could go for RE4 remake also if they are gonna have a stalker enemy. It's like we kind of been having the same mechanics get repeated over and over for the past few games. So, like, I guess it's been confirmed that he's gonna be a stalker enemy. So, I really hope they add new like elements, add new mechanics to like spicing things up because I mean, like I said, the past few games it's been like the same like slashes, same chase sequences. You know, something
Yeah.
something new needs to be added to freshen up the experience for sure. Um, I wasn't paying attention during the reveals, but after you guys told me about the whole Evelyn thing, I'm like, that's pretty dope, man. How they're bringing her, showing her like that, you know.
Yeah.
And it really just gets me, I guess, really interested to see, you know, what this whole DLC is gonna be about.
For sure, man. I mean, yeah, the enemies are honestly insane. I mean, the one that I'm most like curious about is the corrupt Duke, just because like why out of every single person that they could have chosen that's, you know, has fragments inside of the Megamycete, you know? Why is it the Duke that is like the head honcho that is summoning these freaking what are they called, like face suckers? I'm pretty sure he like he summoned Evelyn, right?
Mm-hmm.
So why is he the one that is doing this? You know, could it be that he was trying to take over Mother Miranda the entire time, kind of like a Heisenberg situation, but he's, you know, he wants to take her over instead of just get away from her, you know?
Yeah, because
That's where
the thing is that we don't know what happened to the Duke after Ethan killed Mother Miranda.
exactly, man. And could it be that, I mean, he died in the explosion of the village and then the, you know, the consciousness of the Megamycete absorbed him? And like, I don't understand why it's him that's, you know, kind of the head honcho of the DLC, the kind of the main antagonist. But I'm just super intrigued, man. I mean, Evelyn, she looks insane too, and I agree with you. I think that, you know, Evelyn and Eva are gonna both be part of the DLC, and I honestly think that both of them could possibly be antagonists. I don't think that Eva's gonna be, you know, helping Rose, you know. If anything, I think she's gonna be an antagonist just trying to take her over. And also that stalker enemy, man. Like, I'm super intrigued to see what that's all about. Like, he just looks insane, and it's I honestly don't think it's that thing that we saw. Remember in the screenshot that you sent us?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that that's gonna be what it is. But honestly, who knows? I'm just I kind of like how they're not revealing too much about him, just because I want to be freaked out when I first see him, you know?
For sure,
Exactly.
yeah.
Especially since they said that he's like unkillable or whatever.
Exactly.
So yeah. Alrighty. So So last topic for the Shadows of Rose DLC. So where does Rose go from here, and will she be a leading character in the future of the franchise, or will she just be forgotten after the DLC concludes?
I feel like a lot of fans, if they don't appeal to Rose, if they don't like her, they're gonna not want her to come back. But it's really like a 50-50 situation because there's gonna be some sort of division about her. People are gonna
Mhm.
like her because she seems to have a lot more character than what Ethan had, to be completely honest with you. And that's no disrespect to him. It's just Rose wants to live a normal life. We don't know where she's gonna go. She could fall off the face of the earth. She could go to the BSAA and or another company, fight BOW, so no one else has to endure what her father or mother went through. So there is like a possibility that she could come back. But then there's also another possibility that she could be forgotten. And I'm not too sure if it really depends on what the fan feedback is, because if this is essentially the Winters family like ending,
Yeah.
then it really is giving me the vibes that this might be the first and last time we will see and use Rose as a playable protagonist.
Yeah.
Me personally, I do think it could be a fan feedback thing. Like that's just me though. Like I honestly feel like with this DLC, we're finally gonna see if people like Rose as a character, and even if she does get rid of her powers, I feel like she has potential to be a future character because like we all said, the character's getting older, so she would be one of the next generation Resident Evil characters. It all depends on if we find her interesting. I do find her a little bit more interesting than Ethan because Ethan was kind of a blank slate in Resident Evil 7, and in Resident Evil 8 he was kind
Yeah.
of showing off his personality. So I do think Rose would be a more interesting legacy character, especially when she's part of the Winters. She had the powers and all of that good stuff. So, and we don't know how this DLC ends. It could be a subversion. Capcom could just be lying to us. It could be a quote unquote, like maybe she learns to live with her powers and she learns that she has responsibilities, or maybe she does get rid of. We honestly don't know how the DLC would end. So maybe it could be up to, I guess, the fans on whether they or not they like Rose as a character, like the DLC
Mhm.
feedback. Because I honestly feel like, not to be weird, but if this truly wasn't in it, they didn't really care about, you know, Roses. They wouldn't even include. They wouldn't. They would have just went with the Chris DLC. Honestly, they could have just
Yeah.
went with the Chris DLC, and maybe they was just like, oh yeah, let's throw in Rose as like a supporting character, whatever. But I honestly feel like with this, maybe they're trying to gauge how we feel about Rose as a person, as a character, and see if we can root for her. Because we did spend all of Village trying to rescue Rose, so I kind of feel like it would be a waste of a potential character that she just is forgotten,
Yeah.
and that's my viewpoint on it.
Yeah, man. I mean, I remember in the interview or whatever for the RE8 DLC, they were deciding between the Chris DLC or the Rose DLC, and it's like there was so many fans that just grew so fond of Rose, so they decided to go with the Rose DLC. I mean, I really think a lot of people like her character, and I really think this DLC is gonna even give her more of an impact. So I do think we could potentially see her in another game. I mean, it seems like her and Chris are somewhat close. So I mean, who
Yeah.
knows? Maybe she could become part of the BSAA in the future or something. I mean,
Yeah.
I would be down for that for sure.
For sure, man. Yeah, same. I honestly don't really know where she's gonna go from here. It could go the route that, just Capcom drops her as just another, I guess, one-off character. If people, I mean, you could say the fan feedback thing. If people don't respond to her very well, then Capcom probably, will most likely drop her as a character and just pursue the legacy characters after that. But if the DLC just blows out of the water, and Rose is like super likable, dude, I could totally see her like coming back with Sherry or anything like that. That would just honestly be insane.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it would be.
for sure.
Especially with those two, like, Rose had her powers, Sherry has the antibodies for the G virus, so
Yeah.
which she also ended up getting like those crazy healing powers that we saw in RE6. So to see those two like go together in like a game that takes place in maybe 2030 something to 2040,
Yeah.
that would be pretty damn cool. to see.
It would, man. Alrighty, so all right, we're gonna move on from Shadows of Rose and we're gonna go on to RE-verse. So honestly, like, how excited are you guys to play this from what we've seen?
I think in terms of my excitement, it's really going to depend on the variety of game modes that Capcom is going to put into this game. Because I
Mm,
believe in the beta there was only one game mode and it was just like a free for all type of thing.
yeah.
And sure, it's cool, but that's not what people are realistically gonna want to constantly play for. There needs to be different game modes, like let's just say a team deathmatch type of thing where you team up with your boys or friends and then you go at it in like some big area. You do a
Mhm.
capture I ended up saying this in my reverse video where I said a capture the flag type of thing would be like something that would be really cool, but instead of a flag it would be a sample of a virus and the team with the
Ooh,
most
yeah. Yeah.
wins the match. So I think that would be really cool. And I think there should also be game modes where you fight off like waves of zombies and BOWs realistically, where they have health bars and stuff, and you communicate within each other to either hold them off, protect yourselves, and wait for an evac chopper to arrive. It really is going to depend on the game modes because if there's one game mode, you can already scrap this thing within the first month of launch.
Yeah.
So it's going to be heavy on game modes, but in one of the topics earlier is a huge reason as to why the game will not be dead as soon as it launches, but we'll get to that later. But anyways, I'm done.
I'm super excited. I love arcade shooters. I love the fact that you can play as like multiple characters throughout the whole series. It's
Mhm.
honestly amazing. I do believe they're gonna have different unique game modes. Capcom has learned from their previous mistakes because this isn't their only arcade shooter, Resident Evil themed arcade shooter, and I'm really excited. I just can't be more excited enough. I love on the rail stuff. I love multiplayer. I love just being stupid with friends and going and doing dumb stuff and
Yeah,
absolutely sucking in every challenge. Like this is gonna be a dope game you can just turn on and play with your friends and have fun and have a laugh. And yeah, I'm super excited.
Um, yeah, I feel the same way. I mean, I didn't get to play the beta, but I mean, everything I've seen so far looks really good, and it really looks like something I'd be interested in. I mean, I don't know if any of you got Division, but it almost
Yeah.
looks like
yeah,
combat style, like in the Dark Zone or whatever, like almost like that. And I mean, I freaking love that, and it just looks really good. Like Center was saying, I was also a big fan of like Call of Duty Zombies, so it would be cool if they kind of recreated that or something, where
yeah,
you and like three other guys just go against like hordes of zombies.
yeah,
And then
Which,
you encounter a tyrant like Mr. X or Nemesis or
ooh,
Jack.
yeah, like yeah, every 5 rounds or whatever, you
Yes.
got a mini
Yeah.
boss or
yeah,
something. Yeah, I mean, it'd be dope for sure. I feel like they could. I feel like there's definitely gonna be a lot more. I mean, they freaking delayed it for like a whole year, so I really feel like they took their time with this one. I mean, from what I hear, the past like multiplayer games weren't really well received. So
yeah,
I really think they took their time with this one and carefully, made sure that it's gonna be exceptional to the fans. So yeah,
for
overall,
sure,
I'm
man.
I'm super excited, man. I can't wait to play with you guys.
For sure, dude. I'm like, yeah, I'm so excited. I'm just gonna start off saying Resistance was garbage, and I'm just saying, man. Like, I picked that up, and I was done off of the first game, man, and I was honestly thinking, I just hope that Resident Evil can come back with a multiplayer, style game that would honestly, like kind of be mainstream a little bit, kind of like a COD or something.
Yeah,
Like I
exactly.
honestly didn't know if it was possible, but I'm really hoping that Reverse could like honestly do that because I mean it's looking pretty promising already. The gameplay looks awesome. I mean, we got all these, different characters. I kind of like how they're, taking some villains and then the protagonists and they're just like mixing all of them together into this big old mosh pit of a game.
Yeah,
And it's definitely going to be fun to play with you guys, man. Like, I'm just so excited.
for sure.
Alrighty. And also, like, what did you guys think of the overall gameplay and, characters that they were showing?
I just hope that the gameplay isn't too buggy where, you have like those bullshit deaths and, it makes you want to throw your controller like across the block of your neighborhood. But
Yeah.
I really I think in terms of characters, I'm glad that they added the Hound Wolf squad, but it also really wants me to see other REverse characters like Rebecca Chambers, Carlos, Barry, Sherry, Sheva, and even some villains. Like I want to see a Wesker in this game as well because I think he would be an amazing enemy to use after you die or something like that. Or he would be like essentially if you ended up playing like some sort of COD Zombies mode, Wesker is the final boss or something like that. So
Yo,
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
that'd be
I think
dope.
Wesker would be a huge integral part to REverse, and it really depends on how you use him. But in terms of characters, yes, definitely get guys like who I mentioned before. Get some costumes for them. I think costumes was a huge thing, which I'm glad since I saw RE6 Leon there and Bandaged Ada, which I hope to see RE5 Chris, but with that face model, geez, man, they got to switch that thing up. But in terms of Claire, I think I would love to see her Revelations 2 outfit, her Code Veronica outfit. I think the potential is absolutely through the roof. And, and Hunk as well. Maybe there could be a skin like Lady Hunk, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah.
But I think character skins was a huge thing. And I hope that, convinces people to play the game and just have fun with, characters who are your favorites in the franchise. Gameplay, I mean, I'm going to hold my expectations to a very big minimum. I just hope it's good enough for the multiplayer game to be, you know, alive.
Yeah.
I love the gameplay. The gameplay's like floaty, arcadey. It's ridiculous. I love the fact that you can just pick up weapons. You can do crazy ass finishers on like other players. Like playing as the infected seems like fun as hell. Like I'd love playing as like a deranged Jack Baker. Like I just love how it's super fast paced. It's super ridiculous. Like there's a time limit. I'm a sucker for time limit games. I love how there's the ranking system, playing as different characters. I wonder if different characters gonna have like different abilities. I think they do, and like the starting weapons are gonna be unique to the character too, which is something I've been looking forward to within this game. Like a lot of people have been like giving Capcom shit and giving REverse shit, like oh I don't want to play it, blah blah blah. But it's guys, it's good to not play a linear experience sometimes. It's good to just play a fun multiplayer with friends, especially with this. Like, come on, like give it like at least give it a chance because the game looks cool. Like it looks like a cool, fun little game you can play with your friends. Whenever you guys are just coming home from work or whatever, school, whatever, and y'all can just all play together. I love it. The gameplay looks amazing. It looks dope. Fast paced as hell. The weapon selection and variety are very like it's super jam packed with different weapons and melee combos. I love it. It's amazing.
For sure, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, I totally agree. Like the amount of variety, it's kind of insane. I mean, like I'm just watching this gameplay right now. Like Claire's able to switch between like a grenade launcher, a pistol, SMG, and then shotgun. Like that's dope. How they're giving such a huge variety like that, man. And yeah, I mean, like I said, going back to like the Division, it really looks like similar to that, which I loved. The gameplay is just looking really good. I think it's gonna be really nostalgic, with all these new like all these different maps and stuff. Being able to play as all these different characters, it's cool how there's just such a big variety in the game. And I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, it just looks really good. Like you guys were saying, just something to get on and play every once in a while with friends. That type of game. Overall, definitely really excited.
For sure, man. And I'm with Center on that, man. They got to add like some expanded characters, Sheva, Sherry, Rebecca, Barry. Like we got to realize that everybody has their character, Like
Yeah.
everyone in the RE community has that character that they relate with, that they just, love to death. And for people that are playing Reverse, that it would be awesome for them to experience that through their character, man. And I'm just loving the combat and everything. Like MMDVG was saying, it's insane. It's just crazy, doing these like crazy finishers. And yeah, the gameplay, honestly, it looks really good. And I was surprised. From what we've seen, it wasn't too janky looking or anything. But yeah, that's my take on it. I'm just super excited to play with you guys. Like it's just gonna be insane. Okay, so
One more thing that I wanted to mention was I'm watching the gameplay on Blitz's stream right now. That
Mhm.
roll better not be that fucking overpowered because if I constantly see just roll spamming the entire time, I'm gonna throw my controller across my room, man. I do not
Oh
want.
man.
I deal with it. I dealt with it a lot in GTA 5 when they were just rolling and rolling like that. But if I see it spammed constantly like that in reverse,
Oh my gosh.
you're gonna have to come. You're gonna have to. I'm gonna have to fucking
Oh man.
your face.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh, man.
hopefully there's some like good balance between like each character, each, combat mechanic, each weapon.
Yeah.
Wouldn't mind a cooldown as well. A cooldown on those
Yeah.
rolls, really good.
It, exactly, yeah.
Yeah. They can't make just one role too overpowered, or else it's just gonna
Yeah,
be like, what's the point, man?
for sure.
Alrighty, so most importantly, I would presume is, how do you guys feel about the cross-gen implementation? Just
This
what are you
was
guys'
the
thoughts?
thing. This was the thing that saved Reverse for how long it could possibly last, because cross-gen was one of the main things that a lot of people wanted, because if they strictly were Xbox players versus Xbox, PS4, and vice versa, the game would have been dead within a week or immediately on launch. So to know that you can just collaborate with all your friends, like I could be on my Xbox and you guys could be on PC, the fact that that could happen, that's really good. So I'm glad that cross-gen is existing within this game, because I'm not too sure if it exist in Resistance,
I'm not entirely sure.
because if that's
Doubtful
the case,
about it.
that's probably why it died within 3 months. But yeah, so the fact that they delayed it, made it cross-gen, added weapon skins, character skins, maps, and hopefully new game modes. There's some good reason to play this game, to just have fun with your friends, create like, a little rage montage or something like that. But
Yeah.
I really do believe that cross-gen is going to make everything a lot easier for friends to be able to connect with each other and just play a chill multiplayer game, especially if you guys are heavy Resident Evil fans.
Yeah.
To bounce off what Center said, cross gen is the saving grace of this game. I'm gonna be honest. It's honestly so important now for a lot of multiplayer games, especially like not graphically taxing multiplayer games, to have cross gen. In my opinion, cross gen brings a lot of friends together because some friends own PCs, some friends own PS4s, or PS5. Some friends own Xbox. So I feel like cross gen is super important, and it allows a lot of players from across all generations, all different consoles, to finally play something fun together. And this type of game, it being the arcadey shooter, is a perfect game to do cross-gen on, because now the friends that don't have the PC the supercomputer that you have, you can still play with them, and I can still have a good time. And I'm
Yeah.
just so happy that this game was cross-gen. I'm happy at that announcement. I'm happy that, like, even though the game took forever to finally get some news, or to come out, I'm glad that we finally got some good news to it. And I strongly feel like cross-gen is the future for a lot of multiplayer games, so I'm happy Capcom is following suit.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you guys. I feel like if it didn't have cross-gen, it would have been like buried in the first week. Yeah, I mean, games like this, it's mostly gonna be like playing with your friends, with this arcade style, playing with your friends, teaming up with your friends. So with them having this cross-gen, it's gonna make it so easier to do that. And
Yeah.
yeah, I think it was definitely the right move, definitely the saving grace.
Yeah. I mean, when you really think about it too, I would assume that for most multiplayer games, people are usually playing with their friends, you know?
Exactly, so
Yeah, so it's just kind of like, if they weren't to if they weren't gonna add that, that's kind of yeah, like you guys said, it just would have been buried. But
yeah.
yeah, it's kind of the saving grace, just making it cross-platform. I mean, just like look at us, for example. We got Center for Evil, he's on Xbox, right? And then we have MMDVG, he mostly plays on PC. I play on PlayStation 5, and I know you do PC and PlayStation. How much would it suck if we just couldn't play together, just
I'm
honestly?
saying.
I
Like
wouldn't have
Exactly.
any
that.
motivation to play Reverse then, because I don't know many Resident Evil fans that I either follow on Twitter or have on Xbox that would play Reverse. So it probably would have been like a dead situation if they didn't do the cross-gen thing. So again, as like we all said, it was essentially the saving grace, but more importantly, it's just gonna really realistically rely on the gameplay aspects and all that. And one of one of your chatters in your live stream, Blitz, put out a really good point, was that He feels like that there's going to be a problem with cross-gen, especially with PC players trying to hack the game.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is a good point to mention that, but I really don't know that much people that would want to hack a Resident Evil multiplayer game to get better than everyone else. Like, I mean, Call
Yeah.
of Duty, I understand, but in terms of Resident Evil multiplayer games, I'm not too sure about that. But I understand your
I guess
point.
I'm
I guess
top
it just
ranked in
depends.
Resident Evil verse. I'm top ranked
Well, I mean,
hacker, and that's so like a weird
yeah,
hill to die on.
Bro.
yeah.
It really is.
Alrighty. So that was all the topics, guys. Like, this was insane. This
Yeah.
actually went pretty well, man.
For
I had
sure,
fun
man.
talking and discussing with everyone, man. Like, I thought this was an absolute blast. Like, first attempt, I mean, I can consider this a W.
Yeah,
For sure,
banger.
man.
Same.
Banger.
yeah.
Alrighty. Well, I thank you guys for, joining and everything. This was like super fun. But I'm probably gonna hop off of the call and, just end my stream and everything.
Yeah.
Same.
Alrighty,
Sounds-
guys.
All right, guys. See ya. Let's do this again sometime.
For
Hell
sure,
yeah,
man.
Take
Alrighty,
care.
peace out.
Peace.
See ya.
Peace.
All right, guys. That being said, this stream was amazing. This is a little podcast stream. So if you guys want, me and the other creators made a Discord. Me and all the other bigger Resident Evil creators made a Discord together. We are now like, I guess, a group. We're called the Horror Council. If you guys want to check us out, join our Discord, be cool or whatever. So I'm about to post it in the comments right now. Guys, check us out, join the Discord. Me and all the creators, we're all gonna do like the podcast thing a little bit more. If you guys want that, smash like if you guys do want us to, do the podcast thing, whatever. I'm 100% down for it. That being said, fellas, I hope you guys enjoyed this stream. I hope you guys enjoyed the talk that we had. It was really cool talking, having a blast with the other creators. So, peace out, guys. Love y'all all. Stay safe out there. Eat healthy. Get y'all 8 hours of sleep. Stay in school.